so excited to be here. I feel like I'm at a festival. I feel like I just heard from my new favorite band, professors, researchers, and scientists. I never thought I would say that. And my new favorite song is The Guardrails of What a Sustainable, Healthy, and Just Planet or planetary diet should be. It's music to my ears, and I've got a fantastic panel here with me today who are really the heroes on the front line. But from hearing all that science and all that information, all that research and all those amazing models, the first question on my mind is, so what? So what for our planet? So what for our children? So what for our young people? So what for our implementers, activists, advocates? What does this actually mean for the people on the ground? I'm thinking about the thousands, if not more than, young people living in extreme poverty, living in extreme conflict zones, living in surviving in famine as well. And I'm thinking about the hundreds, if not thousands, of young people I work with. I'm the founder of a youth-led movement called Act for Food, where in over 30 countries, we work with hundreds of youth volunteers across the globe who are implementing the solutions that they know can bridge the gaps and fill the gaps that they see in their local communities. So I'm going to get a little idea of the age groups in the room right now. Put up your hand if you're under the age of 30. Okay, we see a few hands. Look around you, look to your left, and like we're in a pantomime, look behind you, because there's going to be a young person there. Find them, seek them out, share your space with them, bring them into where you are. You shouldn't expect them to go to you, okay? You need to go to them where they are. So, with that, I'm going to come back to my panel. I'm going to sit down. We're going to have a nice discussion because these four people, young at heart, are the implementers that we're seeing here today. They really are taking action. They're turning that science into action. We've heard what we need to do. We've heard the guardrails. How can we put Eat Lancet 2.0 into implementation on the ground? Paul, you have a very impressive title. You're Special Envoy for International Climate and Food Systems Initiatives, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Norway. Now, Norway has been a very exemplary champion of SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production, and SDG 2, my favorite SDG, zero hunger. Can you tell us a little bit about how Norway's international strategy has driven shifts in global food systems transformation?
Well, thank you very much, Sophie. I'm very proud, actually, to be here as a Norwegian diplomat because my government has been combating hunger and transforming food systems as a strategic priority since 2022. We have invested billions of dollars to support both humanitarian food security, global food security, and health systems, as well as rainforest protection, which all comes together at the heart of this report. And this is for us an issue of international development, but also international security, as we have talked about at the Munich Security Conference. So let me first commend Eat Lancet for this very important and impressive report, and for sharing, I think, both hopeful and healthy and helpful messages for policymakers. And one of them is, of course, that we need more collaboration and international cooperation, which is under such terrible pressure these days. And this is within governments as well as among governments, private sector, civil society, and science. One other message, I think, is that all national governments, whether north or south, now really has to step up their actions. Also because there are underway radical cuts, reductions in foreign development assistance, thanks to, or due to Russia's aggression, donors are now prioritizing defense funding and support for Ukraine. So we need more and not less multilateral cooperation to protect the climate, biodiversity, and food production at the same time. And that's why Norway has joined as lead co-chairs of alliances and champions, together with Brazil and African and other nations, in alliances against hunger and for transformation of food systems. And also, we are working very much through the multilateral system, the World Bank, the United Nations, as key pillars of global public common goods. Because without World Food Programme, FAO, CJR, and you can ask me later about the abbreviations if you don't know them, WHO, WTO, the world cannot reach the Sustainable Development Goals or the climate goals. And if anyone tells you that the United Nations is useless and bureaucratic and not doing much, they are completely wrong. And I can prove that to them. And finally, I just want to highlight what is very good in the report, among many things, is the issue of sustainable management of oceans, fisheries, and aquaculture as crucial for providing both protein and nutrients, to protect fish stocks, and to preserve healthy oceans as central to our food systems. Of course, you mentioned, Sophie, SDG 12, which is the biggest challenge, I think, for many of us in the north, reducing food waste, unhealthy diets, overconsumption, very much in line with the report. And of course, reducing emissions and malnutrition globally, which we are continuing to do in cooperation with the European Union and other partners.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thank you for highlighting fisheries. My grandfather was a fisherman.
Excellent.
And know the struggle. It's a really difficult job, and to have that support and also financial support for these communities, especially fisher communities, is extremely important. And what's also really important is getting food from farm, from fishery to plate. And Mouna, you're the Global Chief Sustainability Officer of Sodexo. Thank you so much for being here. You're a big multinational company, huge, and you're leading the way in creating sustainable change. That can't be easy, I can imagine. What does the Eat Lancet 2.0 mean to you, and how are you planning on using its science?
Well, thank you, Sophie, for having me. And first, I would like to mention that sustainability is not a sprint. Sustainability is a marathon. Sustainability is a journey of progress. It's a journey of transparency. And at Sodexo, from the very beginning, we have taken a holistic approach, embedding social and environmental considerations in everything we do. It guides the way we serve our clients, the way we serve our consumers, whether in schools, workplaces, corporations, hospitals. And we serve 80 million consumer people per day. So it brings us a sense of responsibility, a sense of purpose, and a great responsibility towards their health, and a great impact also towards the planet. So for us, it's also a unique opportunity at Sodexo to drive the change on a massive scale. In 2009, we have designed our sustainability roadmap called Better Tomorrow. Why we did this? Because we were convinced and conscious that there is no sustainable business in a world that is not sustainable. And we've put within our roadmap two key commitments, two key topics: sustainable eating and food waste reduction. Because the figures are clear, we have seen some of them earlier. The food system is responsible for 30% of the global carbon footprint. The food waste is responsible for 10%, not to mention the pressure on the biodiversity, on the land, on the pollution, on the water. So, and that is why we have taken some bold commitments. The first one is cutting our food waste by 50% and targeting 70% of low-carbon meals, plant-rich meals, by 2030. So, well, at Sodexo we are doers. And we take our role in food transition very seriously. We stand for our convictions based on science and based on the Eat Lancet report as well, and leverage collaboration to make impact again on this massive scale. So, from my experience, I would share 2 takeaways. First, for sustainability, and in our sector, and in general, there is no one-size-fits-all. Challenges differ by context, and when we talk about food, we talk about culture. We talk about local specificities. In India, for example, the vast majority of our dishes, of our recipes are already vegetarians. Whereas in Brazil, for instance, the beef consumption is quite significant. So this is the reality and the beauty of the culture. And these differences are obviously directly related to the culture. And another example for energy use in our kitchens, Brazil is very advanced regarding clean energy use. So we face different realities, we face different contexts, we face different regulations, which require from us pragmatism. Pragmatism to activate the right levers in the right places. So solutions that work in one place, in one country, may differ from a solution that works in other country. So our role is to adapt our efforts and support collective progress in all countries where Sodexo operates, considering culture and considering consumers' profiles. So the second takeaway is to drive change. We must start by considering consumer needs and expectations and ask a simple question: what's in it for them? And we know what's in it for them. Their top drivers are taste, price, and health. And health, which is not surprising, and only then they consider the impact on the environment. So our food barometer at Sodexo with Harris Interactive confirms all those insights. Individual benefits outweigh collective ones. And this is important to have it in mind. That's why we need to shift our narrative toward a focus on health first. In my opinion, this is the most effective path to advance sustainable eating that benefits both people and the planet. Mm-hmm. So this is the same purpose, but different angles.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mouna. You mentioned feeding 18 million people, which is huge. And I can also imagine that a large proportion of them live in cities and urban centers. And we have Andrea here, who is head of climate change and environmental sustainability in the Department of Quezon City Government. Thank you so much for making it, because I know your city has just been hit by a typhoon, and it shows the resilience of cities and people that you have made it here today to tell your story and to showcase that on behalf of your city government. And also shows that cities are crucial change makers. And it's not an easy job. And national pathways are still catching up, or national policies are still catching up. how does your city ensure that it focuses on the justice and resilience aspect and not just on that economic growth piece, which is also really important?
Okay. According to our latest data, 20% of families in the Philippines experience involuntary hunger. And for children, the situation is even worse. Only 1 in 4 meets the recommended energy intake, with widespread protein and fat deficiencies and early stunting. These gaps leave families vulnerable, a reality Quezon City confronts directly as the home of over 3 million residents and the country's most populous city. Recognizing the advantage of local proximity, we are best positioned to know our constituents' needs. This awareness has driven us to establish a 3-part approach that connects food justice with inclusive climate action. First, by providing locally and building skills through urban agriculture. The groundwork for this program started in 2010 as a simple backyard farming under then Vice Mayor Belmonte, who now serves as the mayor of Quezon City. The concept was rapidly scaled during the pandemic, transforming it into both a critical backup for food source, given restrictions in travel at that time, and a significant livelihood opportunity. Currently, the city has over 1,400 urban farms and engages 43,000 urban farmers. This is bolstered by resources such as training, seed banks, water reuse facilities, and composting. This puts food on the table, creates livelihood, and strengthens climate resilience, and has become a benchmark for other Philippine cities, as the city was able to create a Center for Urban Agriculture and Innovation Hub at the Quezon City University. Second, we shape healthy food environments with policy. In 2021, we passed the Healthy Public Food Procurement Policy, which requires that all foods procured or served by the city, whether in schools, shelters, or public events, must meet strict nutrition standards. In 2023, we strengthened this further by enacting the Barangay Nutrition Ordinance, mandating every local village in Quezon City to allocate at least 1% of their budget to nutrition programs. And in 2024, Quezon City became the first in the Philippines to enact a calorie labeling ordinance. Through a phased rollout between 2025 and 2027, restaurants and hotels are required to display calorie information on their menus, giving families the power to make healthier, more informed choices. Third, the city closes the loop through circular food systems. Here, we make sure nothing goes to waste. Through our food rescue program, in partnership with Scholars of Sustenance Philippines, we have already recovered more than 48,000 kilograms of surplus food, equivalent to more than 200,000 meals served to shelters and vulnerable households. On the waste side, we now operate 63 community biodigesters alongside with bokashi beans and rapid composters in our public markets. Together, this has processed 100,000 kilograms of biodegradable waste, converting it into 500 kilograms of compost, as well as biogas and liquid soil conditioner. These resources are returned directly to our farms, cutting input costs while also reducing carbon emissions. To drive lasting impact, however, these initiatives must be institutionalized into an enabling law at the national level, supported by dedicated budgets, critically co-created with communities, and sustained through their active engagement. Networks such as C40, the Partnership for Healthy Cities, the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, and now the EAT Foundation provide the platforms to share best practices, develop common standards, and learn from each other's successes. When cities connect through these collaborations, local actions gain the momentum to shape markets, influence national frameworks, and drive sustainable transformation far beyond individual city boundaries.
Wow, thank you, Andrea. There are so many incredible pieces to celebrate there. Really amazing. But the one thing you mentioned that really stood out for me was 1,400 urban farms supported. And Souleymane, this must be music to your ears. Souleymane's a strawberry farmer from Senegal, and if you haven't met him, you should. There's an incredible New York Times article about him. And he's currently on his European tour, filling rooms across Europe, educating Senegalese people about the importance of strawberry farming in Senegal and trying to get them back to Senegal to begin strawberry farming. So it's an incredible thing that you're doing, and I wish I was Senegalese and I could join your master classes. But there's obviously opportunities for farmers in Senegal, otherwise you wouldn't be doing this. So what are the opportunities? What do the opportunities lie within healthy diets from sustainable production offer farmers? Souleymane.
Okay, nice question. First, my English is not perfect, but I'm gonna try. It's a challenge for me. Maybe today I'm gonna represent the Francophone people, and they will be proud of me. I'm gonna try. For your question, my name is Souleyman. I'm the CEO of FRAISEN, and FRAISEN is a company work about the strawberry production, and we create the first Pan-African network of producers in Africa, and we are in 5 countries in Africa, and the idea is to bring together farmers to support them, to train them, and sometimes to give them funds to start their activities about the strawberry production. And for your question, I want just to precise something. Personally, I have a wonderful and incredible colleague, and with this colleague, I do nothing. With this colleague, I have just to make available the team that is needed, and it does the job for me. And this colleague is a nurture. And with the nurture, the only thing that I need is to create a condition and let them does the job for me. For example, what I want to meet, many people said it's not possible to produce strawberry in Senegal or in Africa. And the first challenge for me was to tell them that it's possible. And during 8 years, we took every single day to look away to make it possible. And when we saw them that it's possible, the next challenge is to produce the organic strawberry. And for this, we proposed the innovation system. And the system is the combination of the beekeeping, protein farming, floriculture, and agriculture. How does it work? For example, for the protein farming, for the beekeepings, you use the bees, and with the bees, we can provide the pollination. And everybody knows, without pollination, we can say fruit. The bees provide the pollination, and with the protein farming, we can have the money to fertilize the soil without use the chemical product. And with also the floriculture, the production of flower, with some kind of flower, you can keep away harmful insects from the farm. Also, with some kind of flower, you can produce the natural pesticide. Again, with some kind of flower, you can attract bees. And when you attract bees, you provide pollination. So more bees, more pollination, more fruit. And with this combination, we can today produce the organic strawberry without to use the chemical product. And the incredible thing with the system is we are not just sell the strawberry. We sell the strawberry, we sell eggs, we sell money, we sell chicken, we sell also honey, we sell everything. And these different products help today around the 500 farmers we support increase their revenues. And today, the innovation that we put in this system is we create the incubator center. In this incubator center, we train young people and we train women. Actually, we train 200 young people about the strawberry production and 300 women about the processing of strawberry. And if the question today is the organic strawberry give the opportunity for us, yes, we can say, because many people that we support today encourage the activity just by in the organic production, organic strawberries that we do.
Yeah, it's about livelihoods. It's about creating that safe space that also offers farmers a livable wage, right? Because that's what it's all about. You can't access a healthy, sustainable diet without a livable wage and an income. And I had a really nice second question for all of you, but we're running out of time because you had so many things to celebrate in your work. So I'm going to be really honest. The time for small steps is obviously over. We've heard the science, we've heard it from you guys, so I'm going to ask you all in one sentence, what's the single boldest action either you can commit to or you'll ask some community here to commit to in the next 12 months? Paul, I'll start with you. Be mindful of time.
Well, I think, you know, as you said, this cannot be solved at individual level. It has to be lifted to the political or democratic level, and governments must take the lead in promoting, transforming food systems in a way that is sustainable for people and planet. But I think in our countries, the health messages will resonate as well as the environmental messages. And I hope the same will go for other countries, both in North and South. And what we can do and will do, continue to do, is to encourage all countries and partners in our diplomatic work to follow up on this good report, which I read on my way from Budapest this morning. Excellent. And of course, the Sustainable Development Goals and climate goals, which we have all committed to back 10 years ago.
Paul, I think that was 3 sentences.
Oh, it was a bit. No, it was one long.
Mouna, you, one sentence.
One sentence, well, a little bit also long, but I'll make it shorter. There is no silver bullet. Every step counts, and at Sodexo we know it. It's the sum of these tiny actions, these tiny steps that make the impact on a massive scale. So again, sustainability is not a sprint, sustainability is a marathon, and my commitment is to continue in this journey of progress, and never give up for us and also for the future generation. So my call to action is that never give up.
I love it. I love it. Andrea, over to you.
Okay, in Quezon City, we make sure that our action goes beyond any political term, and we do this through legislations that solidify our commitment. Hence, in the next 12 months, we plan to put in place a local legislation that will further expand the school-based feeding program using our own funds, the city's special education fund, thereby closing critical gaps in child nutrition.
Thank you, Andrea. Souleymane.
Maybe just one sentence here. We have different profile, we have different opportunity, and different things that we propose. For me, the only thing that we have to do to realize the concrete thing is to make it together.
Yes, let's do it together. And talking about doing it together, there's a lot of people in this room who are part of a community for action. Myself, as part of Act for Food, we co-hosted the Consumers Community of Action with Consumers International. Paul, you're part of the National Policies Community of Action. Mouna, the Chefs, Restaurants and Food Services. Andrea, Cities, and Souleymane, Farmers and Fishers, and we're part of 10. There's 10 communities of action. You should see them wearing a badge like this. Go up to us, have a chat with us, ask us if you can be part of our communities. We have met over 40 times since the beginning of the year. We have communities spanning 750 members currently, and we have action briefs that are available online. So please check what we're up to. We've got incredible success stories, and thank you so much for doing the work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
That was nice. Yeah, good, good.